Hello and welcome to another video, and I thought today we would do something special. At the time of this video premiering, it will be the exact 1-year anniversary of the Nintendo Switch. And I thought it'd be fun to reflect back upon the first year of the system and how awesome it's been, how many games that have come out for it, how the system has really jump-started Nintendo in a new era, and just kind of go over everything about it, kind of the state of Nintendo right now, where are they as a company, where are they going to go this year, how we had quite an excellent year in 2017 for Nintendo, and what 2018 holds in store for them, and also kind of review the first year of the Nintendo Switch, talk about, the best games to play on it, some hidden gems on the machine, and a bunch of other stuff. So I hope you enjoy this episode today about the Nintendo Switch 1-year anniversary. So at the time of this recording, I have a stack of Switch games for this machine. Just looking through it, Bayonetta 2 just recently came out. Obviously Super Mario Odyssey, another huge title for the system. One of the best Mario games since Mario 64. And then the final game I want to talk about in my physical collection here is Puyo Puyo Tetris, which is a fantastic local cooperative fun game. So those are just physical copies of games that I own. There's also been some great accessories for the machine. Obviously, I can't say enough great things about the Pro Controller for the system. This is pretty much an Xbox 360 controller, but it's the Pro Controller for the Switch, but it feels like a Xbox 360 controller. The only difference is that the triggers are a lot more redefined. They're not as triggery, I guess would be the word I would use, compared to an Xbox 360 controller where it's a full trigger. This is a very short burst, but I really like this controller. It is a little bit pricey at $70, however, I think it more than makes up for its price in the incredible battery life of this controller. Another controller I want to mention is the 8BitDo gamepad that you can use for the Nintendo Switch. This little gamepad, Super Nintendo controller with analog sticks and full triggers on the back as well. This is a fantastic controller as well. It's been very fun for certain games. I've had a lot of fun using it. It doesn't work the best for every game. I will say it's really weird using this controller to play The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it's a fantastic controller and just goes to show how big the third-party support is for this machine. There's been a huge renewed interest in Nintendo in the last year that's been fun to watch. It's been fun to see people talk positively about Nintendo for the first time, it feels like, in about 5 or 6 years. So let's talk about the machine. It's been 1 year since the Nintendo Switch launched, and it launched with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, arguably one of the best Zelda games of all time, and it was a fantastic journey, a journey that I still personally haven't finished yet, but it's a fantastic journey. It's a fantastic game. They've had 2 downloadable content packs that I haven't even touched yet either, but really awesome stuff. It's an excellent game. If you're a fan of Zelda at all, that alone is worth the purchase of the system. However, there's been other games that have come out this year. We had Mario Kart 8, obviously. Excellent port of Mario Kart 8 from the Wii U with all the DLC added. It has full 1080p support. As you know, on the Switch, it was 720p. Here, it's been up-resed to 1080p. It looks crisp and clear when playing on a TV. It's also the best portable Mario Kart that we've ever gotten as well, just due to the nature of Switch's portability aspect. And that's one thing I want to touch upon here with the Nintendo Switch, is that the machine itself has been awesome for the fact of its portability. When they were talking about this hybrid console back in early 2016 and 2015, and we kept getting all these rumors of what Nintendo's next machine was going to be. It always came apparent to me with the Wii U that their next machine was going to be this hybrid thing, because that's what they wanted to make, and the Wii U always felt like the half step to get to that point. There was a lot of people that scoffed at it. And I'll be honest, I was one of those people until that first trailer dropped in October of 2016. showcasing the system and what it was going to be, I was one of the people that scoffed at it and thought to myself, like, I'm never going to use this thing portably. I don't care about that. And then, even after the trailer came out, I said the same exact thing, like, that's really cool. That seems a lot more interesting than I thought it was going to be. However, I'm still only going to use this machine as a console. I'm never going to use it as portable. And I've used this system more portably than I do in the dock. I actually recently just purchased a second dock to put a dock on a different TV in my house, just because a lot of times at night I like to go downstairs and kind of unwind from the day, and I figured it would be nice to unwind and play the Switch on a different TV that isn't from my huge setup over here that you guys can't see on the, on camera. I really enjoyed this machine way more than I ever thought that I was going to from beginning from its inception to its release, and just kind of buying it as, hey, this is how I want to play Zelda, and I was interested in it. But when even getting this machine, I was like, I don't know. And I've fallen in love with it over the past year. I've played countless games on it, and that doesn't even count the countless eShop games that I have purchased on this machine. There's been some very interesting eShop games that have come out that I've purchased, and it's been fun. I go on there, I find something that looks interesting, and I purchase it. And I can't really say that about the other two big brother consoles, PS4 and Xbox One, so I have a lot of games on both of those as well. But for the Switch, there's something about having it portable that really makes me look at that and go, yeah, I can justify that because I can play it portably. Some of the hidden gems I want to talk about on the eShop, I figured we'd kind of throw that out here in this video. First one that I want to throw up, The Mummy Demastered by WayForward Studios. This is a fantastic movie licensed game based on the terrible, awful Tom Cruise Mummy movie from 2017. However, the interesting aspect of this game is that it doesn't have any elements of Tom Cruise in it at all. However, it does have Russell Crowe's character in it. But it's a very interesting Metroidvania game. It kind of reminds me of Super Metroid and Castlevania. It's a Vania game in that sense, and it's awesome. The music especially is astounding. I'll even roll a clip of the music right here. Really fun stuff. I've really enjoyed this game. I think it's one of the best hidden gems on the machine. It is also available on all other platforms, so if you don't own a Nintendo Switch, you can play it on your PlayStation 4 or your Xbox One. You can even play it on PC. It's on Steam, but I think for the portable aspects, the Switch version is the best version of this game to get. Obviously, it would behoove me not to mention Stardew Valley. Now, Stardew Valley is a game that's been out for a long time. A lot of people have already dumped countless hours, including myself, into the PC version and the other console versions of this game. But the Nintendo Switch is the definitive way to play this game, simply because of its portability aspects, and that's what I wanted out of this. I waited a long time for Stardew Valley to hit the Vita for that reason, and it never did. And I think it might be out now. You can correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong on this. It might be out now on the Vita. However, the Switch version, I dumped another 70 hours into the Switch version, and the only reason I stopped is because I realized I need to step away from this to play other games. I can't just keep playing Stardew Valley. And I want to get back to it. I love that game to death. I think combined between the Xbox One version and the Switch version, I put probably about 200 hours into that game over the last 2 years. I love that game to death. It's a shining example of an incredible Switch eShop title that you guys should check into. If you're a fan of Harvest Moon, if you're a fan of those kind of games, there is no better one of those kind of games than Stardew Valley. Those are some hidden gems on the eShop, and there are plenty of more hidden gems on the eShop. However, we should talk about some of the other bigger games and bigger titles for the system. Obviously, it goes without saying, Super Mario Odyssey is the best Mario game in years. It is a game that I absolutely loved to death. I'm looking forward to getting back to it and playing this new Luigi's Balloon World DLC that came out for it as a free update. I really like this game. If you're a fan of Mario at all, or the character of Mario, and maybe you're living under a rock watching this video, not realizing that they made a new Super Mario game, it is also a great reason to purchase this system. And again, I mean, you have two juggernauts in Zelda and Mario releasing in the same year. That's never happened on a Nintendo platform, and that really, really set the stage for this machine. Again, Super Mario Odyssey, nothing more needs to be said. If you guys are interested in hearing more about it, I did a review on the channel of Super Mario Odyssey, and I suggest you guys go check that out. I also played Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. I think that's a really cool game. It's a very interesting take on the XCOM formula with Mario and the Rabbids, which is a really interesting, weird combination, and not a game anybody would have ever thought would have ever been made under any circumstances. However, it's a really, really fascinating and interesting game. I feel like it's a little long in the tooth about the midway point in the game. However, it's still a fun and interesting game, and it's worth your time. And then finally, I need to talk about the two ports of Bethesda games that came out for the Nintendo Switch in 2017. There was Doom, which I did not pick up, and there was Elder Scrolls V Skyrim. Now, I'm a massive Elder Scrolls fan, as you guys know on the channel. I'm a massive fan of the Bethesda Softworks titles. I bought this game again out of just morbid curiosity to see, is this game actually going to run on this machine decently? And I'm happy to say that it does shockingly run really well on the Nintendo Switch. Now, yes, it's at a lower resolution than some of the other versions of the machine. However, it runs at a rock solid 30 frames per second on a portable machine, which is crazy to think about. And yes, a lot of the resolutions and the textures and stuff are muddier in this version of the game, and you do have to get over to the fact that you're playing vanilla Skyrim again. It's not going to have any mod support ever in this version of the game, but if you can get past those things, it's portable Skyrim, and it proves that that can work on this platform. And I'd be very curious to see if it actually has sold really, really well. I'm not sure. So let's talk about 2018. Obviously, Nintendo had an excellent year in 2017. A lot of games came out, a lot of renewed faith in the company. What's going on in 2018 for Nintendo? Well, we've had some titles announced and some things are coming out. Obviously, a very, very big one coming up here in a couple weeks is Kirby Stars Allies for the Nintendo Switch. That's going to be a big title. It looks pretty fun and interesting. I like Kirby a lot, so I'll be picking that up. At some point in the spring, we're getting a Yoshi game. There's a new Mario Tennis game coming out that looks interesting. And then obviously the two really, really big games that have been announced somewhat, but I don't think they're going to hit in 2018 are whatever they're doing with Pokemon, and we don't know yet, and Metroid Prime 4, which I still kind of bet won't actually be called Metroid Prime 4 when it's officially announced. I don't see the Metroid Prime 4 game coming out this year. All we've seen so far is a logo for the game, and I still maintain it's not going to be called Metroid Prime 4 because I feel like Nintendo's going to want to kind of reboot that franchise, and calling it Metroid Prime 4 as its actual release is going to be very confusing for people that haven't gotten into those games or played those games, but at the same time, it kind of gets those people that love the Metroid Prime series back. So calling that Metroid Prime 4 now and then changing it later would be the best solution for that. However, some people will get angry about that. And then for Pokemon, I'm not a huge Pokemon guy. I've played some of the Pokemon games. The last one I really got into was Diamond and Pearl. That was like 10 years ago. I tried to play X, couldn't get into it. Tried to play Sun, couldn't get into it. And I think a lot of it had to do with I just want a bigger Pokemon experience. I want it on a bigger screen. And making a big Pokemon title for the Nintendo Switch that I can dock and play on my TV screen but then take portably is the answer to that problem that I've had with this franchise for years. And it could potentially be very interesting to see a Pokemon game this way. I'm interested in a Pokemon game for the first time in 10 years, more than just morbid curiosity. And I'm very interested to see what they announce for that. I think E3 will be very telling for Nintendo this year, and they're going to announce that. Obviously, the other big elephant in the room for Nintendo is whatever they're doing with Smash Brothers. Personally, I'm not a huge Smash Brothers guy, never really have been. I like the 64 one a lot, and I like the GameCube one especially. I didn't really click with the Wii one or the Wii U one. At this point, it'll be interesting to see, is the Nintendo Switch version of Smash Brothers just a port of the Wii U one with some more characters, or are they actually going to just make a new Smash Brothers this fast? I don't know. Time will tell. It'll be very interesting to see. I mean, that's pretty much it as far as what we know about Nintendo in 2018 and what they're going to announce. Obviously, the other big thing is they're going to launch their online service in September of 2018. this is still kind of an up in the air thing. A lot of questions need to be answered on this. I'm not very thrilled about paying for an online service for this platform if part of it has to go through my cell phone. That just doesn't make sense. It's not something I want. It's probably not something you guys want. However, I am interested in the prospect of the 2 free Nintendo/Super Nintendo games a month for the machine. I think that's really cool, and if the price stays at the proposed $20 for a year price point that they're speaking of right now, I think it'll be worth that price alone for a year just for that. So I'll do it literally just for that. But it'll be interesting to see. Also, with that being said, where's the Virtual Console? Where are GameCube games? Where are older games? Why can't I play Super Mario World on the Nintendo Switch yet? Why hasn't that happened? It's very shocking. It's very surprising. I think Nintendo in 2018, they're going to do that. They're going to announce that it's going to happen. But it's just a matter of getting to that point. I'm interested in seeing what they do in 2018. I've had a blast with the Nintendo Switch in its first year. It's an incredible console. It's a very good gesture and renewed faith in the company to put out a machine like this that has really just kind of taken off in a way that was unexpected. I mean, at the time of this recording of this video that I'm doing right now, the Nintendo Switch has already sold more units than all 5 years of the Wii U, which is really, really an incredible feat, and it just shows how disappointing that system was. It was a disappointing system that had a lot of great games on it, but they were all first party, and it's fun to watch now all of these other companies and everything run to Nintendo and say, we want to make a Switch game, we want to make a Switch game, and that's really cool and fun and exciting to see. And I'm not a crazy person. I mean, I still am playing games on the bigger brother systems, you know, PS4 and Xbox One and stuff. I don't buy everything on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not going to become one of those channels that only talks about Nintendo Switch and all that kind of shit. But for me personally, I wanted to make a video about the Nintendo Switch's 1 year anniversary and kind of talk about the state of the machine and how much fun I've had with this machine as a whole. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that you guys found it fun and exciting to discuss the Nintendo Switch. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, until next time.